Paperboy News here to deliver y'all that daily report. Now shout outs to S. Wiggins TV. He interviewed an OG from 59 Hoover criminals out there in Texas. And he was basically responding to OG Percy, who said that they don't listen to LA politics and their number one enemies out there, although he's a Hoover crib, is the Hoovers. Now when OG Gumby, who's a reputable Hoover out here in LA, heard Percy say that the Hoovers' number one enemies out there are the Hoovers, he basically told every Hoover out there in Texas to stop banging because they gangbanging is wrong. And they're making every real reputable Hoover that put their life on the line look bad. Now shout outs to S. Wiggins TV, subscribe to his channel. He was interviewing an OG from Beaumont, Texas, from 59 Hoover criminals, and he told them what's going on. He thought it was Hoover unity from state to state, but after listening to what Percy said, that's not the case in Fort Worth, Texas. Now this OG from 59 Hoover criminals out there in Texas wanted to make one thing clear. Percy don't speak for all the Hoovers out here in Texas. He's only speaking for his city. Now this OG said as far as Beaumont goes, they didn't create their politics. Everything they banging got passed down from the motherland, which is Los Angeles.
Anything, we keep it original the way it was. Like whenever, gangs first had hit Texas, to my knowledge, and hit where my section was, everything was put on the way it was supposed to get put on, like down there in the land.
Now, Hell-Rel wanted to make one thing clear. Even though we out here in Texas, we follow the same politics as the 59 Hoovers out there in LA. And he said from where he's from, his section don't get along with any neighborhood cribs.
We don't get along with no neighborhood. Where I'm from, in my section, they got two neighborhood six, and then they got other like off-brands of it. You got the 6-0s and you got the 40s. And under that, you got like the neighborhood 6-7s. We never got along with them, and still to this day.
Now, Hell-Rel said he's in his 40s, and the first time he heard Hoover Criminal in Beaumont, Texas was in 1998. Now, he said the Hoover Criminals was fresh at that time, so there was a lot of resistance, and there was a lot of bloodshed in the streets due to them going back and forth with the Hoover Crips, because they were mad that instead of aligning themselves with the Hoover politics out there in Texas, they were following the protocols from the 59 Hoovers in LA, and they were criminals, so they stayed that way. Now, after Percy received all of this backlash on the internet, including OG reputable Hoovers out here in LA like OG Gumby, when he said he didn't get his Hoover crippin' from LA, he got his Hoover crippin' from Texas. Now S. Wiggins said that sounds ridiculous because Hoover was not only created in LA, but the gang's named directly after the street that it was made from. Now Hell-Rel says salutes up to OG Percy because he's not taking anything away from what he's done for the Hoovers as far as Texas, but he said again, he doesn't speak for all the Hoovers out here in Texas. He's just speaking for his city. Because where he's from, the Hoovers get along just like the Hoovers out there in LA, and we don't beef it with each other. Now Hell-Rel ended it off by saying salutes up to OG Percy because he really is a reputable, but he believes that most of his misinformation is coming from his years of drug abuse. Now he wanted to make one thing clear. Texas is a big ass state and they got a bunch of cities, and everybody got different politics, but he said as far as his city goes, the Hoover criminals got their politics directly from the motherland out here in LA. And he said our section, as far as our city goes, is no different from LA, and we beef it with all neighborhood cribs just like they do. Now salutes up to Hell-Rel and S. Wiggins TV for dropping that content, and now that you guys heard it, y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in that comment section. Hit all notifications to get the latest drop on my videos. It's Paperboy News Stand. Y'all be safe and stay dangerous, so they're gone.